Hello and welcome back everyone to Stylized Environments with Blender 4 Geometry Nodes. In the last lesson we left ourselves off by creating a nice material for both the water and the well, and now we're going to continue on with the roof modeling section. So to start it off, I recommend you that instead of just creating a base, we're going to start off by creating the tiles, and then we're going to basically get everything around it. So for us to do that, we're going to get ourselves a foundation for the wood planks, and then we're going to generate the tiles. And let's go to the resource pack that we have. We're going to have the geometry node for the planks and the tile over here. We're going to use the plank over here. And let's check if we have, there we go, we have a geometry node set. Let's go ahead and hit Control C. Go to the main project file, hit Control V to paste it in. And now I'm going to actually just duplicate it, Shift D, GX, put it off to the side, and we can start working with the geometry node itself. So how many layers, how many planks do we need? This actually is not controlling. I think I'm actually working on a different setup because it says wall cement. So I might just click Control Z to undo it real quick. And there we go, we have the plank selected now. So yeah, I wasn't sure why that was the case, but the reason being is that I had two of them selected, and the one that's actually highlighted in orange is actually our main selection. So that's what's going to show us for the modifier. We need to make sure that we only select this plank over here. Then we're going to increase the count. We're going to increase it to a count of, let's say, 8 or 9. I think that's going to be quite all right. Let's go ahead and click 7, click G, position it like so next to our well, RZ90, like so. Then we can move it off and actually position the plank. So GZ, put it off to the side, like so. And I think we're having a nice start. So now we're going to work with a randomness, the thickness, and we're going to increase actually this so we can see what it's actually saying. So thickness randomizer, I think that's what we need to actually start, because I do want to have a bit more of variation in planks, or actually maybe the opposite way. So minus, you can't actually have minus. So I'm going to increase these and lower this. So holding shift, holding shift, I'm going to lower this down a little bit, like so. And we're going to get ourselves nice planks. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, GY, position it like so. And we're going to work with the length and rotation. So first of all, we're going to find ourselves the length randomness actually. We're going to increase this while holding shift. We're going to increase this to a value of 0.03. I think that's going to be quite nice. If, for example, right now, I quite like this overall design, but the issue here that we have is for some reason, the planks, some of them UV project in a different way. And the reason being is that because for some reason it's being randomized. So just to fix that, I'm going to change the seed, which is going to randomize the parameters that I have, and it's going to give us a nice result. So there we go. All of these planks, all of the wood now is going in the right direction, which I'm happy about. Yeah, let's go ahead and now adjust the deformation. So let's see what each one of them does. So minimum and maximum for bending, I think that's going to basically give us a random rotation, random bending. We actually want them to be more or less in the same kind of position. So let's go ahead and set them both to 0.2. Let's see how it looks like. And we are getting a nice rotation. Now for rotation randomness, let's see. So this one is X, this one is Z. So yeah, okay. Going to click Control Z once I saw what they're doing. The X, I'll do like some bit of randomness, like so. The curvature itself, we don't need this. We can keep it as 0. Noise scale, we don't need it either. Displacement, we're going to keep it as the same because it's only for the base. We don't really need to mess with it too much. And I think I'm quite happy with the result. Random rotation though is a little bit too much, I think. So I'm going to lower this down to 0.02. And now that we have this bend, I can see that this is actually a little bit too thick. Let's go ahead and actually lower the thickness randomizer to 0.03 as well. There we go, much happier with this result. The gaps in here, I'm not sure if we should have them. The reason being is that we don't really need to see the light coming through it. we need to make sure that when we're rendering it, it's not going to give us random light gaps, some bits that are looking like artifacts. So we're actually going to go ahead and fix that. I think it's going to be the width, and it's not. Let's go ahead and see which one it would be. So length is not going to be it. Gaps, that's going to be it. So let's go ahead and just turn this to 0.03. Sorry, 0.003. There we go. So it's going to be a very small type of gaps. The light is not going to pass through that, but it's still going to give us the organic look that we're looking for. All right, so now I'm pretty happy with the setup. We're going to go ahead and just simply click RY and just rotate it into the section that we want. I'm going to click once so we could actually position it in the exact location. And there we go. We can now play around with the length overall. So increase the length a little bit, just like that. And the bend is now a little bit too much. I'm going to change this to 0.1 on both ends. Since we increase the length, we're going to get ourselves a different result. Actually, I think the bend itself was quite all right. Maybe I can just bend it off like this a little bit. We're not trying to make this to be an actual straight triangle. We do want to have a bit of a curvature. So I think something like that is going to be working quite nicely for us, actually. Like so. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I'm just going to click S and Y just to increase it. And we do have some bits of gaps again in regards to the texture. The texture is not going the right way, so I am going to just change up the seed. There we go. And actually that's going to give us, again, the right setup. I'm not sure why that's happening. I think it's a sort of a glitch, but changing the seed seems to give us the right result. All right, so I'm going to just simply duplicate this to the other end. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to click 7, going to hit Shift D, RZ 180, like so, and then move it off back to the inside, change up the seed to what we want, and that's going to give us a completely unique type of a look on this other side, because it's going to look differently based on the seed, on the randomness that we're giving it. So I'm quite happy with the overall result. Let's go ahead now and actually set ourselves up with the tiles. So the tiles that we have are going to be in the resource pack. So this is a tile. It's just a simple cube on the first glance, but we do need to set it up for the actual well. Let's go ahead and hit Control C. Let's go on to the well, hit Control B over here. I'm going to hit Shift D to make a duplicate and actually start working with this. So by default, this is what it's going to look like. We have certain controls, and the material that is being used is actually going to look like this. The reason being is that we don't have the setup just yet for the material. We can actually do that. We have the controls on the geometry node. Let's go ahead and actually do that. We're going to go back onto the resource pack. We're going to find the one for the tiles. So I think it's either this or this. Let's go ahead and find it. So this one is called metal. This one is called roof. This is what we want. Let's go ahead and hit Control C. Go back onto the project, hit Control V. And now we're going to basically apply this onto the tile. So let's go ahead and within the modifiers tab, let's find ourselves the roof material. So let's go ahead and just simply select it through here, through its geometry node. And that's what we're going to get. It's a nice simple tile. Let's go ahead and increase the count. And for now, let's go ahead and increase it to 7 and count horizontal. We can increase it to something like 8, like so. And that's the basis of our tile setup. We do have a lot, we do have a lot of tweaking left to do to apply it onto this roof. So let's go ahead and continue on with this in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in a bit.